Greetings, everybody. Since March, a few of us have been attempting to discuss the Robinson Pre-K project with our superintendent and his 8-person majority on the school board. Now, we're thinking the proposed 2-story addition to that Robinson Elementary School, along with all of its driveways, bus loops, and parking lot, is just a bit too much to jam into that property or that neighborhood. Nevertheless, this $36 million project is still on the fast track, and construction could start as early as September, just a few months from now. So it's time to multiply our voices. I'm John Muka, one of many locals with concerns about this project. We'd like you to join us at our own town hall meeting, 7 p.m. this Monday, May the 19th, at the Hibernians on Coosa Road, to learn more about what's going on. Now, in the meantime, I'd like to share with you here a few samplings from the April 30th school board meeting. There was over an hour of discussion focused just on the pre-K. And at the end, the vote was 7-1 in favor of accepting the $12 million state grant. These are just some short takes from that long discussion. So you'll see Dr. Rocco, he leads off the evening, explaining how things really aren't moving too fast. Stacy Byrne makes her motion to table discussion pending a promised traffic impact study, but she can't get anywhere because there's no second. I'll show you some comments from the board members that follow, ending up with Stacy explaining her no vote, trying to stop this project moving forward.
Question came up, is HDSD moving fast on this project? No. This project has been discussed as part of a multi-year strategic planning committee that met over several years and was open to every member of the Hamilton community. The strategic plan, and specifically the preschool addition, was presented at the January 2025 Board of Education meeting. At the March Board of Education meeting, myself and Spiesel Architects addressed the project and all the questions raised by the Board of Education and the community. Meetings with the Robinson faculty, community, and elected officials were held from January through April. All questions posed by the community have been answered in a timely manner.
I also attended the parent discussion with Dr. Rocco at Robinson for a question and answer session. And in part because I have heard our constituents' remarks and concerns, and in part because I have my own concerns, I'd like to encourage my colleagues to vote no for agenda item 15 under finance and operations. Which is the acceptance of the grant for the Robinson Pre-K. In hindsight, this board approving the motion in January of this year to enter into a $1.5 million contract with Spiesel, the architects, without first having done a professional traffic study was both careless and neglectful.
The motion continues the process to move forward to secure the financing from the Mercer County Improvement Authority to fund the district share of the preschool project of $17 million and pool conversion project of $10 to $12 million. The MCA must complete the financing prior to the district putting the project out to bid. The budget will have to take action to award this project once the bid, assuming the costs are within the project projected budget and financing. It looks like July could be the time frame for when the bidding process starts. The community.
I would like to make a motion to table motion 15 until we get that traffic study.
Do I have a second? Okay. Seeing that I do not have a second, I cannot move the motion forward.
In 1962, Robinson was constructed. It's fair to say that the homes grew up around Robinson rather than the reverse. I've received feedback regarding the proposed preschool. Overall, the community supports this concept in having a preschool. The negatives I've heard in the request to vote down motion 15 appear to miscomprehend the approvals on tonight's agenda. Tonight's motion 15 merely means a yes vote is to approve the architectural plans and receipt of the state grant. Because our pre-K, unlike other private ones, have certified teachers. They're not minimum wage workers who are just acting as babysitters. They're certified teachers who will be funded with grant money that's available.
I did want to reiterate, though, that this evening we are not voting to approve this entire project and to start moving forward on it immediately. We are voting just to accept funding and to send over architectural drafts. This is not us saying that we're breaking ground tomorrow. This is not any of us even voting yes, deciding that this is what we want as a final project. This is just the steps forward, as we've heard from the superintendent, as we've heard from our business administrator, as we've heard from the architectural firm. We still have many avenues out of this. Tonight's vote is not solidifying anything long-term.
I look out and the people who are opposing the preschool are not young parents. The young parents in this town are really kind of excited with the whole idea. I really am frustrated by the negative comments about this preschool, about bringing kids from other places to Robinson. It's very offensive to me. We have to look to the future for the future of Hamilton. If at some point the tariffs kick in and we can't afford it, or the bond interest comes back and it's astronomical, we're wise enough up here to know what we have to do. But as Ms. Harvey said, we're not there yet. So
as a group of people, we have to, and as a board specifically, we have to look at the question in front of us at each step of the way and say, and make our educated decision whether or not we can approve that specific piece in a process.
Are the tools to move forward on a vote tonight just to, approve the plans and approve acceptance of it. It's still going to have, steps towards the final approval of building the pre-K. But I think that what we all up here are trying to do, because we know that, everybody, I hope, is on the same page that we need a pre-K. We want to move forward. We want to provide that. We want to grow our district. We need to invest in our district. But this is grant money that is allowing us to not, even if we decentralized and we had several pre-Ks across the district, that is going to be a significant increase in taxpayers, right?
Well, obviously, from my previous little talk, I align myself with the taxpayers and the homeowners who are here this evening who have concerns, who don't feel that we are doing this in the correct order. And I agree with that. I just don't see how we can take a vote to accept grant money when we haven't seen a permanent traffic study. I will be voting no, because I don't want to continue on this process until I know more about the traffic. And I guess in the next couple weeks, maybe we'll get a professional study done, and it might say, what? If it says something to the effect that it's just not going to be good for the residents, will my colleagues then agree to not continue on this path? Because with each vote and each month that goes by and it gets closer to becoming to fruition, I feel it's going to be harder to turn this down. And so I don't want to continue down this path because there's too many unanswered questions. Thank you.
Now, this is all a $36 million project for one centralized two-story building. It will hold up to 350 four-year-olds from all over Hamilton. $12 million comes from a state grant, which is actually allocating federal funds to this project. And ultimately, all of that comes from our taxes. And the rest is direct Hamilton taxpayer money, borrowing $18 million in municipal bonds that must be repaid, along with another $6 million of interest over the 10-year term. That's a lot of money, a lot of our money, a lot of permanent buildings. Now, so don't get left out of this discussion of where your money is actually going. So join us 7 p.m. this Monday, May the 19th at the Hibernians, and I hope to see you there.